Hello, everybody. Let's turn the music up just a little bit. Just something a little mellow in the background. Uncopyrighted, copyright free. Don't have to worry about getting slammed by the copyright cops. I am the Cranky Canuck, and we are back here again for another episode of Late Night with Cranky and Friends. And I'm joined again tonight by Red Mage sitting down there in Hamilton, Ontario. Yay! And Mr. G. Eidolon sitting out in and around, somewhere around San Fran.
No.
LA.
Again,
LA.
LA.
Okay. See, why do I think that the G-spot belongs in San Fran and not in LA?
Probably because TwitchCon.
Oh, okay, alright.
Probably because I'm going to be there.
Oh, yeah, sure. Ladies, take note. He's going to be there. He's going to be there. And he knows the G-spot. Yes, he does.
Oh, God.
That's what a mirror's for.
Oh, I see we're starting. Yeah, so do I. Are we all drinking water tonight here, guys, or what's the story?
That's my backup.
Yeah.
I can't do tequila anymore.
You can't do tequila anymore. What, you puss?
No,
you can't do tequila anymore.
So to start off the stream, I'll tell you a little story.
Okay.
Before we get into everything.
All right.
But when I got to college, I went to UCSB, Santa Barbara, one of the biggest party schools in freaking world. I think it's ranked like top 3 for the past 10 years. I was only drunk once, maybe twice, prior to actually going to college. Did not know my limit. Did not know what drinks were or anything like that. I got invited to a friend's house, and it was like a little hangout, small. It was like 3 of us or something, and we decided to get drunk off tequila. And I had, I think, 7 shots in about a span of 30 minutes or so. 6 to 7 shots. I felt like I was on a boat during the perfect storm. The only thing I remember was looking straight, but seeing the sidewalk going like this. And ever since then, could not drink any kind of tequila. Like, even margaritas, you pour a bunch of stuff in there, I taste just a little bit, and I just want to gag. Yeah,
I'm like that with lemon gin. Okay. Yeah, like my story's just a little bit older than yours.
About 100 years.
Yeah, around there. But back when I was in the old high school days, and we used to take our class trips down to Stratford. You'll know those trips were pretty good there, Red. Stratford being the theater where everybody goes to watch Shakespeare, and of course English class. You'd make those monthly or yearly pilgrimage down to Shakespeare, to watch some Shakespeare. And so buddies and I, we decided that we'd pull a couple of Mickeys with us on the bus down. We polished those off pretty quick on the bus down. When we were down there, we picked up another Mickey, polished that off in the intermission, and then decided that rather than getting something to eat, we'd make a quick trip to the liquor store and get another 2 Mickeys for the bus trip back. Needless to say, I don't remember much of the bus trip back. And I've never been... And the thing was, as a bartender, at some point, I got to come up against gin, right? I got to make some gin drinks. I damn near gagged every time I smelt gin. Oh. Anyway, let's bring this forward a few years and somebody getting pranked for their birthday. Now, I'm gonna set this up for people so they understand what's going on here. Trell is celebrating his brother's birthday. His brother's name is Kiente. He is a CS:GO streamer. Okay, and I guess they have competitions every once in a while together. But Trell decided to prank his brother by getting one of Canada's top pro CS:GO players by the name of Mitch Dumore Green. Now, I imagine if you're a CSGO player, you might recognize that name. Anyway, he got Mitch to handle the interaction while Trell gave Kiente the trash talk. Now, we have a video of this for you guys to sort of enjoy. We'll gotta turn this music down just a little bit, and we will enjoy the CSGO birthday prank.
Oh, happy birthday! Hey guys, how you going? Do I look older? I feel like I'm much more matured now. That's so bright! Holy God! What was that?
Now this is
Why?
Kiente.
Why is the sun bright?
Hello everyone, this is Trell, Keontae's brother and occasional mod of the stream. Today is Keontae's birthday, and I can think of no better gift than that of humility.
I'm Mitch Dumore Green. I'm a professional CSGO player from Winnipeg, Manitoba. I've been playing competitively for about 8 years now. I've been streaming on Twitch for about 5 years. I started way back when Just TV was out. I'm really excited to help Trell today to prank Keontae, back me up with some trash talk and kind of get in his head, psych him out, so it should be interesting.
Hi everybody, we're live. Dumore has agreed to help me, so we're gonna play. It's Keontae's birthday. He's gonna play as me, and I'm gonna be talking, trash talking to Keontae while we do this. So he's streaming right now. Yeah, he's streaming right now. So we're gonna get this rolling in just a second.
Trell, if you could out-frag me, I would give you my entire inventory, okay?
You're just gonna go down. That's how hard it's gonna go.
Yeah, sure.
Dude, you have no idea. I've been practicing like crazy. It's gonna be awesome.
I guarantee you, if I didn't even practice for a month, I'd beat you. Let's go. Alright guys, I'll be right back. Little BB Bay. He's a scared little BB Bay, guys. Everyone knows that, okay? It's time to beat Trell so hard.
I'm really excited. This is gonna be pretty awesome. I can't wait to just ruin my brother's day. It's gonna be really fun. Wait, the star's gone.
That's even better. That's even better.
Okay.
Oh, you invited us to play.
Okay, ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh wow. How is Trell beating me? This makes no sense.
One-man army.
Thank
One-man
you,
army.
Matthew,
That's what I
for
am.
the
4K, baby.
My only thought is server variants.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's your VAR, not your weak-ass game.
Trell, shut the fuck up. Oh my god, are you kidding me?
Okay, so he's dead, so now we have to play like a silver again.
Like, do I play like this? Is this how I get my kills?
This is amazing. We're watching one of the best CSGO players in the city purposely play like a silver. Shooting at his kneecaps. Even I'm not that bad.
Trell is actually a silver 4. I'm not joking. Oh my god, he's actually beating me and like all over. How? Trell's about to 40 bomb. He's never proven to me that he even knows how to have a character hold a gun in this game. He's 12 kills above me. In what way?
Man, I can't wait for all that inventory. I think I'm gonna give away your knife. Maybe the gut knife. I might just delete it. That's fine. Can you delete inventory in this game?
Shut your fucking mouth, Trell!
Well, congratulations on a good game, guys. Kanto, I'm sorry your game is so weak.
Trell, I'm going to actually come to your house and punch you in the face.
Happy birthday, buddy. I'm really happy that you were born this day.
Shut up right now. I hate you so much, Trell.
So, what AKs do you have on this account, or do we need to 1v1 to settle this for once and for all?
I'm going on my main and we're gonna 1v1.
Okay, main at 1v1. Last one.
Shut up. I have to beat him so hard, guys. Every time. This is not possible. How is he doing this, guys? Can someone please tell me? I can't hit him. Like, in any way can I hit him? What is going on? But, like, he is destroying me. My God, I'm going to lose. I'm going to lose to my terrible brother.
You know what I'm gonna do with that knife? I'm gonna sell it for $1 and see how fast it goes on the market.
He's a genius. He is so much better than me. I don't know what's going on. I don't know how to beat him right now, guys. Like, every time! He's blowing me away. Like, he's taking peeks that she shouldn't be able to be doing. Does anyone know what's going on right now? Can someone please help me? I don't know what to do. He's gotta be doing something! It's Trell. I know Trell. He would not have spent this much time on this game.
Yeah, you know what I love about this game? Being super good at it. Happy birthday to you.
I don't even know what to say.
Oh, I can't wait. Man, those knives are going to look so good on the market. Ooh, you know what? I'm going to give them away to chat. Oh, they're all going to... I don't know. I'll pick somebody at random. We'll see. It's going to be really great. Happy birthday. You know, maybe next year you can get Do More to play for you.
God damn it. God damn it, Trell.
Yeah. Hey, Cranky, say hello to Do More.
Fuck you, Do More, okay? Suck a dick.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
I knew, okay, I was like, I know my brother well enough to know he's not playing that well. I was like, I know him pretty well, so. Yeah, Troll wins for best troll of the day. Like, honestly, Troll went pretty good.
All right, that was...
Okay, so I figured that was just a great way to to start off tonight's show, other than stories about our drunken youths. What would your reaction be getting trolled by your brother or your sister like that on a video on a live stream? Like, what would you want to do other than just strangle them?
That's about it. And I know my friend who happily just popped in the channel when that question came up. He knows I will take the half-hour drive just to punch him.
What'd you think of that, G?
I thought that was hilarious, and I thought that streamer definitely took it very, very well. If it was me, especially Counter-Strike, or at least how I used to play Counter-Strike, I think I'm a much easier going person to play in Counter-Strike in particular.
Yeah, okay.
I think, I don't see what people think. Like, I have raged like once in Smite, and then that became like my name.
Because you do.
I raged once in Smite. Like, that's it. I don't think there hasn't been a single game that I've really raged.
And you curse every night that you and Dark and DeGaulle fire up CS:GO.
Well, no, I curse because it's like the funny part of it, not like I take it seriously. But yeah, I would if I was playing against like my sister and she did that to me, I would probably rage. I would so rage.
Okay, we don't do the public service announcements but every once in a while something comes along that we need to sort of put a warning out there. We know that Darkest Dungeon is probably one of the biggest games that's happening on Twitch right now. Everybody's just loving Darkest Dungeons. But apparently, there has been a fake one show up on the Windows Store. Now, before you go on, blah, 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 what Windows, blah, shut the fuck up. I don't want to hear it. This is a PSA. Okay, we're telling you. It's there. All right? Don't whine to us about how bad it is or whatever the fuck you want to whine about. Anyway, one look at the dubious point of sale page credited to one Balaji Chowdhury, whatever, for Darkest Dungeon, and its appearance a fake. Among other things, the listing shows a file size of 2 meg, age rating of +3+, and a bizarre description. For comparison's sake, the real game on Steam is about 900 meg and goes for $19.99. Now, apparently, I guess there's been a Reddit thread on this, and they're thinking it might be a test to try and get a new launching pad for viruses and Trojans.
God, crazy!
Thank you, Dog, for following, dude. Appreciate it. Now, the developers behind Darkest Dungeon were contacted by Microsoft and put through the process of filing the complaint against this person listing in the store, and they are working very hard with Microsoft and Microsoft working with them to get rid of this kind of shit. Here's the update from Red Hook Games. We first learned about the fake yesterday. Someone emailed us after purchasing a copy of the Darkest Dungeons from the Windows Store and being unable to open the file they downloaded. The individual gave no indication as to the nature of the file, blah, blah, blah. Shortly thereafter, a Microsoft staff member contacted us, assisted us in setting up a complaint. Since then, we've had several people from Microsoft reach out to help from various departments. There's no formal resolution at this time. We've called attention to the scam on Twitter and want to remind anyone interested in purchasing the game to do it through Steam or Humble. So consider yourself warned, folks. There is a bad copy of Darkest Dungeons floating around out there in the wilderness. Another little piece of news, and I want to kind of get yours, because there's no point in talking about the PSA, because that's just what it is, PSA. We got word there's a 2.2 patch coming for Diablo 3. And it's got some pretty cool stuff in it. I wrote about it on Cranky Gamers. But one of the things that slid through the first rush of the announcements was the fact that there was the possibility of microtransactions showing up in Diablo 3. Now, to be clear, and this has been clarified, this is only happening outside of North America and Europe. So basically, it's for the Asian countries that they might be getting microtransactions. What do you think about the idea of microtransactions in Diablo? Like, what could you possibly microtransact? Like, what money? Like,
maybe cosmetic stuff. Like, if you look at with Blizzard and their games, like Heroes of the Storm and World of Warcraft as prime examples, like they have the microtransaction or just store, for that matter. Where for like World of Warcraft, you can buy for $15 and $20 a new mount, new mini pets or the battle pets. I think there's a couple other things here and there that they have are mostly like just as Jito mentioned, it's cosmetic. Like I don't know, Diablo 3. What could you possibly add?
What do you think, G?
To it?
Honestly, it's something that I personally would never use. I think it's smart that they're not doing it in the Americas or Europe. I think that the only thing I can really see them doing would be doing it for possible like friendly pets that you see in WoW type thing. The only reason I say that is because you kind of already have your transmogs that you can do in D3. You have, you just pay gold and boom, you get your transmog done. So the microtransactions I can see are that and possibly, and I don't know how they would do it, and I don't think they would, but maybe paying to transfer your softcore into hardcore. And you'd pay like $30, kind of like you would in WoW. And those are the only two things that I see as applicable in that sense for microtransactions. In terms of cosmetics, I don't really see how.
Okay,
just because...
the one Joe, Jito, he says more character slots, instant 70, winged weapon.
Well, yeah, it was Ron who mentioned that.
I don't see an instant 70, just because it's so easy. Unless they made it harder to get to 70. I had a 70 in 30 minutes, maybe. I just get rushed.
Yeah, power leveled. Yeah.
Power leveled. So that's what I'm saying. Like I would be very interested to see what they're going to microtransaction, because everything that you do in D3 right now is kind of already there. The only things that are not are just those like cosmetic pets, essentially. Like you can get those random little pets that are not battle pets walking around with you in WoW. Like that's the only thing I can really see being microtransactioned. What
do you think would be like? Okay, let's say that they put the process in and it's in the Asian countries. What do you think would be the reaction in North America if they flipped the switch and there was microtransactions?
I think with Diablo 3 there might be a bit more of an uproar than there would in any of Blizzard's other games, because they've already set a precedent for it in World of Warcraft with their cosmetic items. Heroes of the Storm already has that again for the skins, which are again all cosmetic. There's no pay to win there. So I think it would be a little ill-received, at least in our region. I know that Asian markets, Chinese, especially China and Korea, like that's huge. Microtransactions are a huge thing over there compared to here.
What about you, G? What do you think the reaction would be?
I would agree. I would say we kind of already have seen that reaction from D3 already, and that was with their kind of marketplace that they had, where to sell items and stuff, and it's kind of a similar thing. And they got rid of it, as soon as 2.0 came out, or even earlier than that.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say it would be the same exact reaction. Granted, it may be a little lessened, because I don't see it being such a game changer, because it wouldn't be items that you're selling and such. But I don't think it would be taken very well or positively at all.
Yeah, it's like Judo says, the reason it probably would be is because they've already gotten rid of the auction house. It'd just be another. We'd all be crying. You're just trying to take our money when you've already gotten our money, and enough is enough.
Yep.
Well, in the same vein of game type, we've got a lot of popular ones out there. We've got the Diablo, and I think they referred to as ARPGs. I guess meaning American ARPG.
Well, I would say action.
Action.
Yeah, it's action RPGs.
Action? Okay. Like we've got the Diablos, we got Torchlight, we got Titan Quest. We've got even, and I dislike mentioning it, but Path of Exiles is one. Grim Dawn, which I got to get back into that one. I really do, because I was loving it.
Fantastic game.
Yes.
Still getting updated, and I played it just a little bit ago. So yes, we will be playing that for sure.
Oh, awesome! Because I had a lot of fun in that one.
And you were good at it too.
Which surprised me. But there's another one on the horizon, and it's got the most fucked up name I can think you can possibly have for a game. But it looks to have some interesting concepts. It's called Victor Varan, V-R-A-N. I'll throw the link into chat so you guys, because it's a long article, but if you like this type of game and you're curious about it, you might want to sort of read along. We also have a gameplay. It's only about 3 minutes, so we'll run that first, and then we'll talk about the game. So, come on. Where the hell's my monitors? There we go. Here we go, folks. Now, apparently you only have 3 weapon types. You have the sword, the bow, and the gun. I think that's what it is. Sword, hammer, and shotgun. That's your 3 weapons. down a little bit. Maybe we can give a little bit of background as to what they're doing here. Basically, you have the three weapons. You have three main styles of weapons: the sword, the hammer, and the shotgun. And then you equip one and kill stuff with it. Each comes with a couple of cooldown extra attacks, with variants depending upon the particular weapon type. It's all pretty standard. Most of your hack and slash games are like that. Then you have on top of that you have what they call powers. These are used as overdrive. The meter filled by doing attacks that let you say power up a shield, launch an AoE attack, or create a time bubble to slow enemies down around you. As you progress, you gather more and better powers, picking which to equip depending on the circumstances and indeed which of the special challenges you may be trying to compete. It's not stopped there. They also have what they call destiny cards. These are an ever-growing deck of passive abilities that affect the tone of your approach. There's the norm, like cards that secure you extra gold for kills or boost your chances of getting criticals, but sometimes something like the sun gives a chance of causing explosions when making an overkill attack. So it's a stack on top of your power. We're coming up to the end here, so I just don't want to get caught up. But yeah, basically that's Victor Vran. Now I don't know why the hell they named it that. It's beyond me. But yeah, continuing with the Destiny cards. Using that alongside perhaps a life drain, the vampire, and the rogue to gain both focus and critical damage improvements. Then there's the 2 potions you have equipped at any time. You'll likely have healing potions in one slot, but you do choose a vial that lets you fill your overkill bar, or maybe some bar skin potion to temporarily raise your arm. Like, they're doing a lot of interesting things, but most interestingly is this is being designed to be mutually playable by keyboard and mouse and by a controller. Everything on the screen maps natively to a controller layout as well as a keyboard layout. That's why you won't see a vast amount of selectable items on your screen, is because of that controller focus for playing the game. What do you think?
It really looks interesting. Like, I like the one part where you're seeing it. They've got a lot more of a vertical aspect to the environment, as opposed to like your Path of Exile or Diablo, where it's all just one flowing map and you don't do anything but go around and around and kill things. So it does look very pretty, at least on the onset, but it's worth giving it a shot.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think it's a game. It reminds me a lot like D3, and I like D3. It seems more simplified, but not in a bad way. So I like that. Now, something that I'm hesitant about is the fact that it is controller and keyboard based, because typically, and I will kind of eat what I'm saying here. Typically, I don't like controller-based games because they feel very clunky to me, and I prefer using keyboard. And usually, they focus on controller, not keyboard, when that happens.
Yeah. Well, they did say, okay, and then they talk about this in the post. And gosh, I'd be with you if I haven't been playing so long. Hack and slash RPGs are for wearing out your mouse, but Victor Vran has you move in in a way far more reminiscent of a third-person action game. You can even jump, you can even wall jump, and yet despite this, it still feels like an action RPG. Power goes to the triggers, potions on the D-pad, weapon swap is on the shoulders, and attack is on the face buttons. Move on the right trigger, shock of shocks, rotate the screen on the left. And of course, you can do all this through the mouse and keyboard. He says that he was really surprised how much he liked playing it on the gamepad. And this was, a PC test version. The other question I have, and maybe chat can chime in on this as well. Given how they're doing some things different, like for example, you have just basically 3 weapons. That's it. You only can modify them via powers or destiny cards. Do you think that is too much of a change for the ARPG true fans? Or is it enough of a change to make it even more interesting for them? Like, what do you guys think? Like, and I'm not, like I said, I'm asking Chad this as well. What's your thoughts on this, G?
I think that when it comes to those types of things, and that's what I kind of was saying earlier, it seems simplistic, but not necessarily in a bad way. I think that certain games, like personally Path of Exile, I'm not a big fan of because there's just way too much going on. There's way too many skill trees and things that you can go, and most of the time, at least from what I've played Path of Exile, you have to go one specific massive skill tree to actually, be good or be viable. And I'm not a big fan of that. And then also getting all those items, tone it down a little. At the same time, if it's too simplistic, then it's not going to be that fun because you only have so little to do. So it doesn't seem like they're going too simplistic on it, and that's what I like. It definitely is something that I'm going to keep an eye out for.
What about you, Red?
Yeah, I agree with G. Like it's a simplistic ideal without going into a negative aspect. And the one thing I actually forgot to mention is I like how seamless it feels just watching it, where they switch from hammer to sword to shotgun. Like it's a quick swap. So I think with limiting to 3 weapon types, it does look like it would have a kind of fun play style, and it does look like you can equip, at least from the inventory picture they have in the article, that you can equip different types, like the different swords, different hammers, and that. But that's the one thing you'll see with some of these games is you have a weapon, and then that's what you're using until you go into your inventory, swap it over something else, and that takes time. So the fact that you can hot swap like instant, I think that would make a good playstyle and kind of seamless into switching.
Yeah, that's the one complaint I guess I kind of have with the games like Diablo is that you can have 2 different suits, and you can technically swap them by your keyboard commands, but it always struck me as rather clunky. Why would you need 2? I can understand needing different types of weapons, so why not make them hot swappable? Well, and this is what they it looks like what they've done here. And same reasons as you, G. I'm tentative over the fact of the keyboard and the controller, the way they're doing that. I would definitely want to be able to see it in action with the keyboard, because I'm not a controller person. That's like an embarrassing set of circumstances watching me trying to fiddle around one of those things. But yeah, I kind of like the look of this so far. Now, it is, let me see, I think it's going into early access, or is in early access. Yeah, it is currently in early access. I might actually have to take a look at it. Now, they say it's not a finished product. They're still working on it. You've only got limited levels. You've only got limited, things that you can do. But it's coming, and they're making regular. Because this is, I think, the third story. No, the third story I've seen on it. The second one we've talked about it on the show. So yeah, they are maintaining it, and that kind of speaks volume. Because really, gee, you were the one that actually turned Dizzy onto Hand of Fate.
Yeah.
We seem to be getting some good shit coming out of early access right now.
Well, yes and no. I mean, I guess I'm gonna toot my own horn here a little bit, but when it comes to like games that I feel will be good, I don't just go, oh, what does everyone else say, and what's popular now, and like, you know, kind of like I made the mistake with DayZ, for instance. I actually go in, I do research. Grim Dawn is a perfect example. They're still working on it, but they have consistent updates. I've done the research. I know who's running it and who's, you know, developing it, and I make sure that it's going to be a game that will most likely come out. And this is one of those things where I would like to do a lot of research on this before I, you know, make the plunge. But it is something that I'm going to put on my watch list.
What? Let's just. I know there's not even in the show, but A Hand of Fate is probably one of the more unusual type of games, because on one hand it's a card game, on another hand it's a hack and slash, and then somewhere in the middle you meet and you're the player, and you've got this dick that's handing you out a set of cards. Can you explain this shit to me, G? And why is this somehow striking a resonance with people?
It's just when I heard about the game, I was automatically intrigued just because I love card games like that. I love RPGs. I love Magic the Gathering type games. And I love the fact that it's kind of an RPG-based type game. Now, what's so amazing about it is it's RNG-based, which a lot of people typically don't like, but it makes it fun. You play a story, essentially, with the cards, and you unlock more cards, and you have a chance to unlock those cards. And it reminds people, I think, like those Choose Your Adventure type books that, you know, we used to have as kids.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of where people are like, that's actually kind of cool. It's a very interesting game because it is kind of like Choose Your Own Adventure. You can choose to not do that quest, and it won't really harm you, but you can still continue with the story. So, I think that's kind of it has a lot. That's what has a lot to do with it.
I gotta admit, I'm not Hands of. I like watching Hands of Fate, and especially when you got someone like Dizzy who's just having a rip-roaring fun time playing it. I don't know if it would be the same kind of thing with anybody else, but I know it's not a game for me. But I love what I really like about it is it even as an early access game, it's polished as shit.
Exactly, and that's another early access game that I looked into. I saw how good they were doing, and I made the plunge. And that was, I would say, about 2 months before they released.
Yeah, and it's an amazing game. Like you said, watching Dizzy play and the interactivity with chat, and it's like, hey, we've got 4 choices, help me pick. Like that, as a Twitch level, that makes for a really fun game to watch because you can take part in like affecting the game itself and the story, what's happening. But I do like the kind of mixture between, like, it feels like Dungeons and Dragons with like a tarot card or Munchkin kind of intertwined, and then you have that awesome guttural just hack and slash and beat the crap out of monsters. Like, I swear, Dizzy's gonna make me broke with all the games he's playing. He makes them look amazingly fun, and you know, I gotta tip my hat to him. He's an amazing guy for doing what he does.
One of the other things like I said, we've talked about this before, is we've seen a resurgence of older games being either reimaged or, you know, being remastered or being just generally rebooted. One of those games is Ultima Underworld. That series of games was an immensely popular game of its time. Immensely popular. A little while ago, what was it? Who was the? I don't know the team name. The development studio. Where the fuck is the studio name? Why don't they give studio names? Anyway, there was a team put together to. Thank you, Visionary, for following, dude. Appreciate it.
I don't want to interrupt, but I got it. Other Side Entertainment.
Other Side Entertainment went to Kickstarter because they wanted to bring the ultimate game experience back, but with modern graphics, modern engines, so on and so forth. And they're, I guess, because copyright and all that fucking crap. It was called Underworld Ascendant. They're very near their $600,000 development fund Kickstarter goal that they want to meet. 12 days to do it. But they've also put up a video where you can where senior producer Chris Siegel and Jack Pearsall talk about the game and what they want from it. So let's have a listen.
Hi, my name is Chris Siegel. I'm the senior producer on Underworld Ascendant. And where did I come from? It all goes back to 1979 and a night that my mother was my dungeon master and turned me into a lifelong gamer. I didn't necessarily follow that muse initially for a career. I went into television for about 7 years, was nominated for a couple of Emmy Awards, but my heart was just never really into it. I was spending all my time racking up long-distance phone bills, calling Dwango to play Doom at night. Doom was that moment for me where I was like, television, film, these passive entertainments, these are not the future, but games are. I wanted to be able to tell stories in this world, interactive stories.
I'll find you. Just you wait.
I went and worked at Looking Glass for a couple of years, and then ended up at Turbine, being producer on Dungeons & Dragons Online and Lord of the Rings Online. Why am I here? Like I said, I wanted to tell interactive stories, not canned stories that I was dealing with for the past 6 years in the MMO space. I truly believe in the interactive storytelling ideas that were coming out of Looking Glass when we unfortunately went out of business. And to me, it's totally unfinished business. I would want to go back here and initially tell these stories in Underworld Ascendant, and then who knows what in the future.
There were two main reasons I wanted to work at Other Side. The first was when I heard that we were doing a reboot of Underworld. I got really
Peter
excited
Jackson?
because created the entire 3D RPG space and all the.
I was just gonna say, what's his name from the Game of Thrones author?
Conventions
Oh, yeah.
that were created for Underworld, and being able to work on a reboot of such a seminal title gives us the opportunity to try to push the whole genre in new directions the same way that the original did. And I think that's a tremendous professional challenge and a really exciting one. It's like a dream situation for anyone that's been working in game development. The other big reason I really like working for Other Side Entertainment is a secondary goal we have is to try to kind of put together the kind of creative environment that burned so brightly at Looking Glass. I thought Looking Glass was one of the most intense, exciting, amazing experiences I've ever gone through in my whole life. And the opportunities that we have now with the crowdfunding and digital distribution have really turned the tables to favor indie developers in a way that has never existed before. And having that opportunity to try to recreate the cauldron of creativity that was Looking Glass is just such an exciting opportunity. It's difficult to describe.
Okay, so we don't really see much of the game, which is fine, but we get to know a little bit about the people behind it. Do you think it's important for gamers to understand the people that are creating the games that we play? Or is it just, I don't give a flying fuck, just give me my game, I don't care who the hell you are?
I kind of like knowing who's behind the scenes. Like, it gives you kind of appreciation for, or face to put your appreciation towards, for, all the hard work, dedication they do to put these things together. Like, a lot of people will know, like, for Blizzard's case, a lot of people know who Mike Morheim is, or Sam Didier, and, like, all these big names, but no one sees faces a lot of the time. So it is good to see that, but as well, it's giving them a chance to kind of say, here's where we came from as well. Like, I like knowing that this guy has that history with, a love for the gaming industry as well as this style of game.
What about you, G?
I think that it's very important. I think for a lot of gamers, it doesn't necessarily matter as long as they get their game. But that's, to me, the whole point of knowing those people. Like, the whole reason I want to know, is it Peter Molyneux or not, is because I want to know if I'm going to get my game or not.
Yeah.
That's, as sad as that sounds, I want to know who these people are, if they have experience, if they have made games before, if this is their first time, if they, are dreaming way too big, or if they have experience and they won't rip me off like a certain Peter that I know. It's important.
One of the things we've been seeing a lot of lately, and Twitch has been a main proponent of this, is prior to Twitch, every once in a while you might get a game developer puts up a blog post or puts up a quickie little video. But now we're starting to see more and more developers actually using Twitch as a way to build a community from day one. Like, right off the bat, I think of Folktale. Even Wolfenstein tried, Bethesda's tried it with a number of their games. H1Z1 is doing it. But this seems to be primarily a lot of the indie developers are going this route.
The whole world gone
crazy. Thanks, Wham Bam, for following, dude. Appreciate it. Do you think that's a good idea, or is it something that actually developers should be careful about so they don't overextend themselves or build up too much press about what they're doing? Like, what do you think? Do you like, is this kind of use of Twitch by game developers a good idea?
I think it is. People actually get to see gameplay, and they don't necessarily have to provide a demo, which, you don't see demos really anymore at all. Now, that I think is very important. At the same time, if it goes that way, where it's going to be like a thing that is going to happen a lot, then you're going to see them start paying Twitch broadcasters to play it like you already do now. And that can obviously lead to issues. And another thing is it may totally backfire on them, which then they're not going to want to stream, but then people are going to ask, well, why didn't you stream it? Which could be bad for them. And a perfect example is Assassin's Creed. Assassin's Creed, I think Dan's Gaming was the person they kind of chose, and even him, they paid him, and he said he did the right thing, and he said, hey, I'm sponsored by them, but while he was playing, shit wasn't happening. Like, people weren't really appearing; they were only half appearing, so like their pants weren't there, and it just showed like the upper half body and stuff like that. And he's like, maybe it's just this zone, and he like looked totally baffled at what to say and what to do.
Yeah.
So it could definitely backfire for them.
What do you think, Red?
I think really it's a double-edged sword, because Twitch is a good way for them to get their name out there, get people's eyes on their game, as well as having someone who's honest about it give their honest opinion. The way they kind of, as the saying goes, there's no real bad press, and even if the developers are watching them stream and they say, oh, well, this isn't that great, there's also constructive criticism coming out of that. So if you're looking at a game that's an alpha or beta and you know, they're finding these things. Hell, you're paying someone to do a little bit more beta testing for you too.
Yeah.
But again, on the other hand, you know, if you get in a situation like Assassin's Creed, where you have not game crashing, but I would consider game breaking bugs, when you walk up to someone and all you can see is their eyes and the teeth and nothing else is there. It you know, like the
Or
paying someone to play-
as in H1Z1, you could walk up to a zombie and go smack, 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 and he'd just stand there looking at you.
Yep.
yeah,
Like
So,
that.
like,
That's game breaking.
yeah, like when you see stuff like that on Twitch, you're like, well, is this still in alpha or is this a released game?
Yeah.
You know, and you know what? I always look at early access betas, alphas. I know that they need work. So if I run into a bug, I'm not gonna just, you know, chew their head off about it. It's stupid because I know that they're not fully released yet. But not everyone's like that.
Yeah. Alrighty, folks. We're gonna take a 5-minute break. Just stretch legs, fill the glasses with some fresh water. You know, do the old stretch the body type thing. If you're new here and you like what you're seeing, you're enjoying the conversation, because this is what we do. We sit here, and I have my co-host who vary night to night. We talk about what's happening in the gaming world, and good and bad, and warts and all. So if you like what you're seeing, hit the old follow button if you already haven't. We appreciate every single follow. But for right now, turn the music up a little bit more, and we will be back in 5. And we're back. Just slide the music down a little bit. So let's say about right there. Before I'm going to throw this out to chat because this is going to be for them more than anything else. Every once in a while, I read a lot of shit every day. I go through all kinds of crap, and I was thinking about this when I was getting today's selection for the intermission screen there with the ketchup and the robots. What would you guys like? Let's say one night out of the week where I just sort of share some of the more fucking whack shit that I find on my day-to-day travels through the web. There'll be videos. I have to sneak it in because it's not technically game related, so we'd have a little bit of game talk, and then we just have a what the fuck evening. So do me a favor, if you like that idea, slam the old hashtag what the fuck yes, and in chat I will take a look at chat afterwards and see what everybody's thoughts are. So hashtag what WTF yes, and we'll see about maybe getting something together for that.
The whole world gone crazy.
Thank you TC Game for following. T25 bad host, getting names wrong. One of the things that comes up an awful lot when it comes to gaming and you know, these things we call our keyboards. Watch the dust fall out, folks. Dust, breadcrumbs, ashes, you name it. Is the difference between the typical web membrane type scissor keyboard action and the good old-fashioned mechanical keyboard. I know personally I have probably used the web membrane type since my last IBM keyboard. Anybody remembers, goes back that far, I remember that great big huge motherfucking clunker of the keyboard that just wouldn't shut the fuck up. That was a mechanical keyboard, and a damn fine one. I know one guy actually, every time he goes to a computer shop, he has to go through their back room and he will buy every single one of those keyboards that he can find that works, just so he never runs out of having one. He loves them that much. But so people understand, mechanical keyboards are actually, and De Gaulle would be a much better one to explain this, but they are like they're a mechanical switch in your key, unlike the web, which is basically a very soft web membrane. It's got a little scissor action, and you know, it doesn't take much to do it. There's been kind of a resurgence of interest in the mechanical keyboard, and a lot of it, I'm finding a lot of the streamers, a lot of the gamers are actually bringing that interest back. Now, I will put this post in chat, because if you're interested about mechanical keyboards, this is actually an excellent primer type post. It breaks down the different types of mechanical keys, of which there is there's the Cherry MMX, the Brown MX, and what's the other one? G, do you know offhand? I know it's a Cherry and the Browns. There's one more, and I can't remember what the hell it is.
I want to say blue, but that doesn't sound right.
The Cherry MX switch, which has been around since the 80s, consists of a key stem resting on a spring that is housed inside a small square of plastic, which also houses a pair of metal contacts. When a key is pressed, the stem pushes down on the spring, which in allow turns the contacts to touch. There's at least 7 different types of cherries, so on and so forth. Before we get into the 4 main ones, the 4 main keyboards they talk about here, what do you like? I know my next keyboard is going to be a mechanical.
Yep.
All right, I've had it with, because I can go through one of these keyboards in about a year to 16 months, and it's toast. Like this one already has got, I've had to basically write on the ASD and the C. That should tell you what keys I use the most often. You know, because I'm a writer. I'm copy pasting, writing and correcting, and you know, everything like that. I know several of the keys are stuck. They don't work so well. So I'm definitely, that's gonna be my next one. What about you guys? Do you have a preference either way for mechanical or what is now called the traditional?
I really don't, personally. Like, I don't even know what the Logitech old G11 is considered.
Not mechanical.
It's not mechanical.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like a web one either. It feels like it's kind of a halfway. But you know what? I've been partial. I think it was I did watch the review, and I think there was a Corsair one, and Razors. Both of them had like the backlit, the colored backlit that I was liking, but it's almost $200 a pop. But I've had this G11 for about 8 years, and it's withstood the test of time. The only thing that's kind of messed up is spacebar, but that was my doing.
What about you, G?
I'm definitely getting mechanical. When I first started doing gaming computers and stuff like that, I mean, I've always been a big gamer, but I never really looked into all of the gaming stuff. And I just went on to the web, and I didn't really know how to research, so I just got what everyone wanted, and at the time it was a G15, and that's the end-all be-all of keyboards. But then when I actually really started looking into it, and not just taking what everyone else says, mechanical keyboards just feel better to me. When I actually went to try them out and I tested them and I actually used them, I like the feel of actually pushing on something, and it feels like I'm pushing on something, not just kind of like, I don't know if I'm pushing it right now. Actually I am, And they seem to last longer for the most part. They seem to be well made, or better made, if you get the right ones.
Yeah.
So I would definitely go mechanical.
One of the Cool Master's been around for a while. I actually even had a Cool Master case. You can buy Cool Master mice. You can buy Cool Master, but everything now with a Cool Master brand on it. They are entering the mechanical keyboard market with their Nova Touch TKL. It's a hybrid capacitive switch with Cherry MX compatible stems. So it doesn't sound like they're going completely mechanical. They're doing some hybrid thing. The keycaps are ABS, grip coated, removable. Keyboard size is 10 keyless, which means there is no numpad. You just have basically, everything except the number pad. Maximum decibels is 56. There's no background lighting on it. The cable is braided and removable with a micro to USB 2 port cable, and there are no additional ports on the keyboard. Asking price is $199. Now, compared to some of the other brand names out there that are better keyboards, I think that's kind of a stiff price.
Oh, it is. It definitely is. And I mean, it's smart, like the way they're marketing it. But if you're a true researcher kind of thing, you're gonna understand what that means, and they're gonna market it as the only hybrid keyboard out there, because hybrid is such a phenomenal word in the marketing industry right now. Hybrid cars, hybrid hard drives, hybrid this, hybrid that. So they're gonna market it that way, and to me, that's not a true mechanical keyboard. And the reason you want to get mechanical is because it's mechanical. You don't want a hybrid mechanical. That doesn't make sense to me. So if they can market it that way, and it will market well, I think. But I think someone who really understands what that means won't kind of believe that.
Well, apparently, but listen, they've got a second entry in here, and actually, this is kind of weird. It's called the Quickfire Rapid. It's got an onboard memory of 128 kilobytes. It uses Cherry MX switches, blue or brown. Keycaps are ABS ground coated. There's no hybrid nonsense here, by the way. The keyboard size is 10 keyless. Again, no numpad. Maximum decibels 57. Lighting, white, all keys, 5 levels, 5 modes. And a braided cable, removable with micro to USB 2. Now this one, you'd think, okay, well, it's actually a better one than the previous. It's cheaper at $149. I'm not understanding that one. It's actually a full mechanical keyboard.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. I wonder what they would be putting in the Nova Touch that makes it more expensive. Like that.
I'm not seeing it. Like my reaction right now, if I had to pick between the two, I'd go with the Rapid Fire. Like the Rapid. I don't get that. Now, for the Premier, and like if this is the one you really want if you're going to go go to a mechanical keyboard, and that's a DOS keyboard for professional. Key switches are Cherry MX switches, brown or blue. Keycaps, laser etched keycap inscriptions. Keyboard size, standard 104 keyboard layout with dedicated media controls. Maximum decibels 57. Lighting none. Cable is a single 6.5 foot cable, and it's got 2 additional 3.0 USB hubs ports on the back. Its price is $169. Now, I have a couple problems with this one, unfortunately. Number one, laser edge keycap doesn't work for me, because as you can see, I've already had to do the relettering. Okay, so I would have a slight problem with that. The other thing I'm not too sure I like is I don't really care about the lighting. It would be nice. It would be a bonus, but the cable. I like the idea that the cable is actually detachable from, so you don't have to do the whole wrap around or whatever. I like that idea. I don't know whether it would matter to you guys, but what do you think of this edition of the DOS keyboard?
You know what, the detachable or not detachable cable doesn't really bother me. The only time my keyboard moves is if I'm packing up my rig and bringing it to my friend's place for like a little kind of LAN party between the two of us. I don't know, like it's again, this is one of those ones that I'm looking at our first selection for $200. This is $170, and it's got the numpad on top of it. It's got the media control keys. This would be one, if I was looking for specifically a mechanical keyboard, this would be one of the few I'd look at.
What about you, G?
I would agree. I mean, I think I absolutely love them as a company. I think that's probably one that I would look at as well. I think that they've always made great keyboards. In terms of the cable, I think it actually would be a benefit for me. I think because I still do LAN parties every once in a while with my buddies. I mean, I haven't done them much anymore because I don't live in Santa Barbara anymore. But when I did, the keyboards with the cables and the mouse with the cable and my headphones with the cable and everything else with the cable, it kept on getting tangled, and it was just kind of annoying. So being able to just unplug it kind of thing and just roll it up somewhere, I think that's a smart plan.
Okay, the last one on the list, no, not quite. But our next one up is Logitech's G910 Orion Spark. Now, this one strikes me as fucking busy as hell. But it comes with Logitech's proprietary Romer-G mechanical switches. No sale. Right there, no sale. If you're not going to go with the cherries, I'm sorry, you're not. Anyway, the keycaps are beveled. Keyboard size is a standard 104 keyboard layout with 9 programmable G keys and 3 macro mode keys. Maximum decibels 57. Lighting is fully programmable per key backlighting, and it's a single 6-foot cable, no ports. I'm sorry, but that's one gaudy looking motherfucking keyboard.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it looks like an overdone version of the G11, which is what I have. So you're right. It's too busy on that one.
And again, like I said, they're using some proprietary mechanical switch. No, not when you've got the best in the market being the Cherry MXs.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. You don't need to do that. That's just pointless. And next up we have the Black Widow Chroma Stealth from Razer. Oh, by the way, the G910 Orient Spark is $179. Razer's Black Widow Chroma Stealth. It comes with Razer's proprietary silent mechanicals. Keycaps are standard. Standard 104 US layout. Maximum decibels 55. Lighting is fully programmable per key backlighting. Cable braided. Ports, there's a microphone, headphone, and 1 USB on the right side. They want $179 for that. And I will say right off the bat, I will never buy a Razer product.
Yeah, like I said, this is one of the ones I looked at. It's at the very least, it's worth watching an unboxing or tech demo of the keyboard itself. Like I like the backlit idea for keyboards. That's one of the reasons why I went with. This is the reason why I went with the G11 at the time. Aside from the macro buttons, which I never have used in 8 years. But like I like to play in the dark sometimes, turn all the lights off, and there are times where I'm like, okay, what key am I pressing? I like to be able to see what I'm doing. But this was one of the two. I would have liked to see the Corsair's entry equivalent to that on this list too, because I think it's a better keyboard altogether.
G?
See, I would disagree with you on that, but that's obviously because of personal reasons. I would never buy a Logitech product. I have had
Yes, I know. Yeah, more than
3 mice.
Yeah.
And the worst customer service ever with Logitech. So I would easily go to Razer. Granted, those are like the 2 main ones. Out of all of these so far, I think the one that strikes me as the best would still be the DOS. I don't. This one just doesn't appeal to me.
Yeah,
whatsoever.
They want $179 for this one. Now, the last one in the list is Rocat's Rios MK Pro. Onboard memory, 2 meg flash memory, and 2 32-bit ARM Cortex processors. Key switches are Cherry MX switches in blue, black, brown, and red. Keycaps are standard. Keyboard is 113 key, including 3 thumb keys and 5 macro keys. Maximal decibels is 56. Lighting is programmable per key illumination. Braided cable, ports, microphone, headphone, and 2 USB. For that, they want $169. Now, say right off the bat, this would probably be up my alley. The idea of the keyboard having onboard memory kind of is a little weird, but I'm sure that there's, good to have. The fact that they're using Cherry switches and you can choose between all the different ones is a big plus for me. I'm not so big on, the 3 thumb keys and the 5 macros. Bleh. It's got the programmable lighting, it's got the braided, and it's got the ports. And they want $169 for it. That's a damn good price.
Yeah.
And Rocats is, other than the fact that their mice just scare the fuck out of me because they look so weird, this looks like a good, solid mechanical keyboard.
Yep. Yeah, I've seen that one before. It does look pretty nice. Again, with looking at mechanical keyboards, the prices are fairly high. I'll let G go on this because I actually found the Corsair one. I'm going to link this in chat so people can see it as well.
I think I would say that with this one, it does seem very appealing. I actually, reading a little bit about it, it does have a very good selling point in terms of the languages that you can use, in terms of how they sell it, and that would be good, especially for people who are, multilingual and who use a different language more. Like, I would probably get that for my parents. I think that would be a great keyboard for my parents. Granted, it's a little steep in price, but for a gamer as well, I think it's nice. It's simplistic. It's very similar to the G15 that I currently have. And I'm not very big on the whole 5 macro keys. I've never used them. I've never been into macroing such things. I do like the ports. I really like the headphone with the 2 USB. It makes it simple. However, for people who are huge gamers, I don't see them necessarily using the headphone jacks on the keyboard because they'll probably have like a sound card in their machine that with headphones that are supposedly better to use on the sound card, which to me I'm still skeptical. Wow, I can't say that word today. Skeptical about. Yeah,
so am I. Like with the onboard audio being 7.1 now by default, there's really no need that I can think of why you would need a sound card. It's like that just seems like a dead end technology right now.
Yep.
Yeah.
I just, that's just my own personal feeling. One of the subjects we talked about here before is when it comes to esports and online gaming is cheating. And we've seen a lot of software solutions over the years, VAC, one of them, and so on and so forth. But apparently, there's a developer, and I'll throw this in chat in a second. There's a software engineer by the name of David Tarenko. Thinks he's come up with a solution, and it's a good enough solution that it's caught the eye of people like Riot and other ones. And what it is basically a small unit that sits between your mouse and your keyboard and your machine. It's a hardware, whereas most anti-cheat stuff is being software based. This is hardware based. Now, the device is called Game::Ref. I'll throw it the link in chat for you guys so you can have a look at it. And it rests between the player's mouse and the PC on which they're playing. My prototype only detects a certain kind of cheat for now, he told Polygon. Specifically, cheats that relate to input methods, whether it's a keyboard or a mouse. When you move your mouse in a first-person shooter, your view changes. That relationship between the movement of the mouse and what it does to the game is key to cheat detection. What cheats tend to do is they screw up this correlation. An aimbot sort of aims for you, so there's an artificial movement that happens in the game that you're not making with your real hand. If the movements going into the device don't match the movements in the game, the hardware knows, and there's some form of software in the system that's taking control of the game for you. The software itself is immaterial. If the movements you're making and the keys you're pressing don't match what the game is doing, you're busted. That's an interesting way to tackle the problem.
I agree. Because they're right, like that. If you've ever seen like video of an aimbot in action, it'll be like, I know I'm trying to figure where my head is on camera here. Like if someone's aiming about this, like right above your head, and aimbot detects it's close, it'll shoot that reticle right over you. So this would be interesting to see in practice and work.
The device is aimed for the mid-range market, with the hardware costing under $100 per unit, ideally around the $50 to $70 level, or the price of a good mouse. He's already meeting with investors and organizers of gaming events. Things are moving fast for a concept and prototype that was posted on Reddit only 2 weeks ago. So obviously, if you've got people, let's say for example, like Riot and other gaming organizers that are taking an extremely serious look at this, it looks like it could be a very viable addition to any major competitive gaming.
Yeah, I agree.
Does that bother you guys that this would be in place?
Not at all. In fact, like I know that they're talking about, in chat. Where is it here? Talking about like having using this in the live tournaments, and I don't think they would. This would be something for the remote players to play at home, and you know what? I wouldn't be surprised down the road this is mandatory for remote players.
I would actually disagree. I think it would only be used and only mostly used in actual esport LAN type atmospheres, and the reason I say that is because Empty is mentioning how it's not a legit tournament if someone has to use an anti-piece of hardware. Well, just to prove to you that there was a whole thing just not even 2 weeks ago, or maybe it was 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, about all these Counter-Strike players who were caught cheating. All of them. They were cheating in tournaments, they were cheating in qualifiers, and many of them have now been VAC bans from it. So yes, those were legit tournaments, very big tournaments in fact, and they were cheating. So this is what I see as a kind of esport rule, and this is what I would imagine how even sports go about it, is this would actually be the esports arena buying this product, and then knowing you can't kind of hack into the product yourself and change it so you can still cheat, but they provide their own of these things and give it to the player when the player comes there to actually play, and say you have to use this one, and we're watching you use this one. So that's how I see it working.
I agree with both of you. I definitely see this as being a primary tool for high-level competitive esport open competitions. I also think that given the popularity of esports and the fact that we're seeing more and more competitions and people who are competing in qualifiers or competing in sort of smaller venue targeted brand like World of Tanks, okay? They have a competition. Well, if you're competing and you're not local, like you're having to come into the internet to play it, I could see World of Tanks saying, we want you to be using this equipment as well as part of your sign-up process. I can see it being used in both cases. And I agree it should be used.
I think the problem with it being used in remote cases, and this is the problem I have with remote tournaments already, is the fact of not being able to control the cheating. Mm-hmm. And kind of just like what Awesome's saying in chat, if there are gamers who know how to kind of essentially hack that device to make it seem like they still have it but they can still cheat, it's going to happen. Which is why I go back to saying the whole device where you have this device from the actual arena refs, essentially, who say, we have this device, we purchased this device, you're using this device, that way we know it's legit, and there's nothing you can do about it, about ruining it. Because there's going to be people who are hacking all the time. And whether you have this device or not, people are going to try to find ways to hack the device itself. So it being a remote thing, I think it's good because it will limit people that way, more so. But there's still going to be people who are going to do what Awesome could do, essentially.
Yeah, and the Raven actually brings up a good point, too, is they could also program tamper contingencies, such as the program that renders the unit unusable if tampered with, or even still, like I was thinking along that line, if it's been tampered with, it sends a flag out. Like, alert to home base or wherever the home server is, saying this unit's been tampered with and it's no longer fully functional, and that can at least catch people who are doing that part and that hacking on it. So there,
it just went empty files. You got nailed by the bot for too long a text. Just chop it into smaller pieces, dude. Sorry about that. Go ahead. Oh,
but no, that was the point. But I think it's just something that they can put countermeasures into the device in case it gets hacked or fiddled with.
Yeah. Yes, I hit the TeamSpeak button too, so don't bitch at me. One of the other, we've been having these stories pop up left, right, and center. Controversies around, esports companies. There seems to be a new one that might be boiling just underneath the surface to do with League of Legends, and it's not so much the game itself, it's the streaming of the game. There's a Twitch stream called Spectate Faker. Faker. That uses op.gg to broadcast the matches of League of Legends pro player Lee Faker Sang Hoyek. So basically what he's doing is he's doing a screen capture or window capture of another live feed, and he's rebroadcasting it on his stream. Okay, simple process. I do it for Center Stage. So it's not a hard process. The problem is that Faker has a deal with streaming service Azubu, and it's an exclusive deal, right? His games get streamed through their Twitch stream or their service or whatever. So this Spectate Faker is actually grabbing the stream that is authorized by Azubu of Faker playing. Are we following this so far? Okay. Azubu is pissed. They're pissed off because they think this is stealing their property or their broadcast, and they've gone so far as to send a DMCA notice to the stream owner of Spectate Faker by the name of Star Lord Lucian. There's only one problem. Neither Faker or Spectate Faker or even Azubu owns the League of Legends streams.
Yeah.
Riot does. So it doesn't matter how pissed Azubu gets. It boils down to that it's up to Riot. But now, Riot has come out and not said much, but has said something rather interesting. Riot's president, Mark Merrill, saying this retransmission or restreaming by Spectate Faker reeks of harassment and bullying. Now, Riot's own terms of service claim the following. We'll start with our golden rule. You can use League of Legends IP as a basis for a fan project that you are giving away for free or that's only generating ad revenue, as long as you comply with the guidelines out below for using our IP. As a matter of fact, as long as you comply with our guidelines, we think it's great if you create awesome, free, and original content for League of Legends fans. Which is exactly what Spectate Faker is doing by his restreaming of Azubu's stream of content that is actually owned by Riot. Am I confusing anybody here, or are we following this pretty close?
I think I've
I've
got
got
it.
in my head. Yeah, it's really convoluted.
It's convoluted as hell. And I wouldn't blame you if you don't understand, because it took me at least 3 reads to go through this. Okay? Now, Star-Lord Lucian, the owner of the Spectate Faker stream, has said, I know some people will disagree with this and bring up ethics, but I think this whole issue is about a lot more than Faker. It's about Riot not enforcing their own legal terms of service. It's about a co-owner of Riot Games being completely out of touch with esports and spectator modes. It's about a company, Azubu, issuing a false DMC claim for content that they don't even own. These are issues that will affect the future of game and spectator mode. All of this needs to be debated for the future of League of Legends and esports. On a personal note, he's right. Okay? Because like I said, with Center Stage, the whole purpose of that show is to rebroadcast live events as they relate to gamers and Twitch streamers, with myself and maybe 1 or 2 other people providing on-the-spot commentary as it's happening. Right?
Yep.
So, if he can get nailed for this through muddying of a DMC takedown notice by Azubu, then we have a problem. We have a problem for anybody like me. We have a problem for anybody like him, who are trying to do something cool and neat with the technology we have and bring a wider audience to the sport and to the gaming world itself. Now, like I said, Riot has not come out and said he's got to stop doing it. By their very terms of service, they can't tell him to stop.
Yep.
So if they do issue him a DMCA, they're going against their own terms of service.
Right.
First off, and I put this to the audiences and to chat as well, where do you stand on the idea of this re-streaming of content?
Well, as long as like the guidelines state, as long as they're not making money by anything but ad revenue, I really don't see what the harm is. It really is only redistributing viewership to another place. What Azubu's trying to play this as kind of a different example is if someone took a live feed of Game of Thrones and then streamed it online, and then someone else streamed their stream, and then the person who's streaming the original content says, no, you can't do that. Like that's where I think what they think they have a license to do. But again, like it's not, like they say, it's not their content to deal with. They may have an exclusive deal with Faker, but that's between the two of them, and it's not about the content. It's about having access to his stream through their service so that they can get eyes on their site. This is a clusterfuck. I can't even sugarcoat it. It is.
Well, okay, here's a point that Empty Vials made, and actually it's kind of a valid one. What stops anyone from restreaming the Cranky Canuck show and streaming it on Hitbox? Twitch and Hitbox don't have a relationship.
Well, I Am Awesome, it says here, you can't do that according to Twitch's rules of service.
Only if you're partnered.
Yeah.
Yeah, so...
But if you're getting partnered, then, that makes more sense. But... yeah, I mean, this is, like you said, this is a clusterfuck.
See, I know this may sound stupid, but I pay specific attention to this kind of shit. because it relates to how I can do my job here, how I can build my brand as, for the show, having multiple different shows all centered around one concept, and that being Twitch and gaming. To me, as far as I can tell from what I've read, and I had a quick look at the terms of service as far as Riot is concerned, and I had a quick look at Twitch. This Spectate Faker is in the clear.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's literally in the clear. He's not breaking anybody's terms of services. He's not doing anything illegal. He's not breaking any copyrights because he has express permission from Riot to do what he's doing.
Yeah.
The fact that he's using that permission on a different stream other than Riot's official stream is not, that doesn't even come into it. Because that other stream is doing exactly the same thing. They're broadcasting Riot property. So fuck you, you're out of here.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that if, and only if, Azubu's takedown request goes through, that starts a kind of a slippery slope, dangerous precedent on that level.
Yeah,
like
but
said,
okay, the FOM.
I know it won't, but
the FOM. Here's the point. Okay, that's only pirating if I have not given you specific permission to do it. Right? In this case, Riot Games has said, go right ahead and restream all you want. Do whatever you want with the content. Right? You have our permission. So it's not illegal. Now, if I turn around and said to you, like you came to me, or I found that you were restreaming this show and you did it without my permission, either verbally or within a policy, then yeah, I could sue you for theft. Basically, 'cause that's what it is. You're stealing my content. But in this case, the permission's all there. Now, what's going to be interesting is to see what Riot does in this case. And that one statement where they said it reeks of harassment and bullying, I don't understand where that is coming from. I really don't.
I think they're saying the DMCA is.
Oh, okay.
I think that makes sense.
Okay.
And to me, that means they're basically saying, no, you guys are wrong at this. And actually, if it were to go through, then I think Riot could DMCA whatever they're called, Azubu, because of it's the same exact thing. So I don't really see a case where Azubu could win, because Riot could just be like, okay, well, if you're gonna bully him, then we're gonna bully you, and DMCA, bye.
Okay.
Well,
now let's add to this little mess here, because Faker and his team, all right, SK Telecom T1 have released their own statement on this, in which they say, first of all, SKT and other pro esport teams have started streaming business last year to help ensure a stable environment for players to play professionally. Not only has this streaming deal expressly helped with players with their professional activities, it has also been a good medium through which a pro gamer's value is recognized. Unfortunately, some of the fans have been rebroadcasting Fakers and other SKT T1 players' games through the spectator mode, and this has negatively affected the players' streaming business. Faker, a member of the SKT1, also expressed discomfort over the current situation where his summoner name and videos of his games were being broadcast with no consent. SKT T1 team and its players fully appreciate the fans' fantastic support and interest. However, we would like to politely request the rebroadcasting of our players' games without our consent to be stopped.
That's all fine and dandy, but it's not theirs to say. It's, under Riot's own policies and under any kind of esport policy, the people who own that are the people who broadcast it. So if I'm watching the Super Bowl, it's those people who broadcast that, and they are the ones who are allowed to say that it's not allowed to be broadcasted from somewhere else. Like I think this year was CBS.
Yeah.
So if an NFL player goes, well, I don't think CBS should rebroadcast my NFL game because it's hurting me, blah, blah. I don't give a fuck. That's not yours to say what to do with.
Yeah.
So you know what? I'm gonna stream your shit.
Yeah, and I know that this comes from exactly what they're saying. That it's a money issue for them,
Yep.
and I understand they want to do a polite request, but the one thing that kind of jumps out at me is this isn't just a rebroadcast of a Twitch stream. This is people going into League of Legends client, utilizing the spectator mode directly in there and broadcasting what they're viewing from there. So it's a circumventing the restream, or like how Twitch has the hosting system. But the other thing that popped in my head, and kind of more forward thinking, is with ESPN's exclusive rights with at least TV wise with the champions at the end of the season. You know, I know this is going to fall in the same kind of thing, but do you kind of think there might be something that would come out of that if this kind of situation happened then? Because now you're talking about a TV a partnership with Twitch or with Riot.
Doesn't matter. Riot still owns the IP. They've already made their policy very clear. Whatever deals they enter into with ESPN, in which in fact all ESPN was rebroadcast the original Riot content from Twitch.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That's all they did.
Right.
So
that's I would like to know the details of that contract, because they might have put a clause in there for this.
Well,
we don't know.
Unless they radically modify their existing terms of service. That's how it stands right now. And Star Lord Lucian and his stream are fully within their legal the legal rights to do what they're doing, regardless of whatever some pissant network trying to build itself up to being something big around streamers says. And the fact that they issued a false DMCA is wrong, and they should be brought up on that, and they should be made to pay for that, because that's misuse.
Right.
Right? Anyway, going from one set of baddies to another. When it comes to battling, and we've talked about, and we will probably end up talking about it more as time goes on, but bad behavior on online, whether it be, within Twitch, chats, or whether it be, online gaming, on Xbox, whatever. At some point, you all run up against assholes, and their expressed desire to ruin your fucking day, because they just love doing that shit. One of the most recent ones, again, when we come back to Riot, okay, is that they have their recent decision to give exclusive League of Legends character skins to those who haven't been banned in the previous 12 months. Okay? It's their way of trying to promote people. Hey, look, you don't have to be assholes. There's really no need for it. Now, is it the job of the developer of these games to try and police the behavior of the assholes that are surrounding their games? Is it their responsibility?
I don't believe so. I know Riot also has a reporting system in the game that if you come across a toxic player, someone who's basically negatively affecting your play of the game, whether it's just the verbal harassment, assisting the other team is another one, like purposely running into their base to get killed and give the other team free gold and experience. So they have a system in place. I think this wasn't more of a like a way to police that, because they already have a system in place and it's proven. But this is more like a reward for people and to foster a good community, as opposed to, saying, "Hey, we're okay with you trolls and people ruining the game for other people."
Okay, gee, they go on to say, curbing bad behavior is a constant battle for many game developers, says High Res Studios' Austin Gallman. A lot of research has gone into finding the best ways to do this. I don't feel that anyone has really found the perfect solution yet, but having a punishment reward system certainly helps.
Yeah, I would definitely agree. I think it's in their interest. Granted, it's not something that they should be required to do, but one of the reasons that I really don't like playing Dota and League of Legends is because of the very trolly negative attitudes that people have on those types of games, and it frustrates me to play those games because it's like, why can't you just be nice, even though I know that's how the internet is. But I think that's a very smart thing for them to take on, because people like me would rather play their game if I don't have to deal with a little shit that is trying to troll me and just be a dick, They go on to say,
MOBAs are typically more team oriented, so we've seen a bit more in the way of poor behavior with Smite than we did with our shooter titles. Cheating, however, is a different story entirely. Attempts at cheating are much more common in our shooters. Working on online games for so long has helped Hi-Rez cultivate a good sense with an efficient system for punishing infractors. But the tide now seems to be turning more towards a holistic approach. Obviously, it is near impossible to eliminate bad behavior in games entirely, Gallman adds. But cultivating a fun gaming environment is always step one. We also think it is important to model positive behavior via Twitch TV streaming of the game, game-oriented video content, and other community-oriented activities. Now, this boy brings us back to our territory. How much responsibility does a streamer have, and how much responsibility does Twitch have to foster good chat? Not give the trolls a place to do this. Not let them overtake a chat. Or just basically can streamers just walk away and say, yeah, that's just chat, man. That's just the way they are. That's part of the game. Like so many of them do. And I don't agree with, by the way. What do you think, G?
I don't think they should be held responsible for most of it. I feel that they should. It's in their interest to kind of battle it, and I think if they can implement ways to kind of stop it from happening, or kind of not make it as kind of, I can't think of the word right now, but I don't think that the responsibility necessarily lies on them. And it kind of goes, and this is something that can be debated forever and ever, but it's kind of like kind of guns. People who make guns aren't necessarily responsible for someone taking a gun and going on a killing spree. I don't find them responsible. I actually, I'm one of those people who I think I want to get like a pistol and then go to a shooting range and kind of shoot and just have fun with it. But I feel like it's the same kind of thing here, that it's, at least in the gaming community, it's in their interest to not have it happen as much, but they shouldn't necessarily be responsible for it.
What do you think, Red?
Yeah, I don't think they have a responsibility per se to put forth like a good best practices or what have you, but it would look better on them for kind of leading that front of being the better person and being a good sportsman in your gameplay. I always kind of fall back to what we call Wheaton's law: don't be a dick. It's a golden rule, and it works perfectly for everything, including this gaming and Twitch streaming. if you don't foster the negative aspect of it and you enforce the positive, more than often than not, most people will follow that example.
Yeah. I see. I know from being a mod in one channel, in Dizzy's channel. I also know from hanging out in several other different streamers' channels, and even more so from starting this one, that if you let those little shits get away with being little shits, they will grow into be big shits.
Mm-hmm.
And they will destroy what you are trying to create. I don't know if you were here for the first couple days of broadcasting Red, but I think you were, G. We got hammered. We got hammered by shits. Because we had 2 women co-hosts. And you can just imagine the conversations that were going on, or the comments that were flying. And literally, I laid down the law. Ban. No timeout, just fucking ban those little shits. If you can't be polite to the co-host, if you can't be respectful, like, don't get me wrong, we have people that are in here that jokingly, play, talk with Ginger or Karida or Haas when they're on, but you know the difference, and you're cool with it. But as a channel owner who's trying to build a good community around their channel, I think, personally, my opinion only, that you have to rule with an iron fist. I do. Now, how you meet that iron fist out depends on your own personal tournament. Like, I know with Dizzy, we very, very rarely ban people out. Outright ban people. They get timed out on a regular basis in, Dizzy daycare type situation. But the majority of the time, they come around, because, the community's big enough around them that they suddenly realize, hey, I don't have to be an asshole. I can actually be a part of this community. And then you have other communities, other chats, where it's just nobody fucking cares. And it's like walking into a pool of radiated, toxic bullshit.
Yeah.
Yep. I'll be honest with you, every time I've gone into a Twitch stream that a woman is running, and especially the ones that decide that they want to leave their chest hanging out, that's exactly what it is. It is the most toxic, vile, vulgar mess. I feel like I'm reading Xbox Live kitty chat. Like, I walk in there, I'm like, this isn't respectful. This isn't anywhere near cool. And I end up leaving. Inside of 5 minutes, I'm out. Because I don't want to be part of an environment that fosters or even allows that level of sexual harassment.
The way I look at it, and correct me if I'm wrong here, G, because you're also a mod. Well, you're a mod here, and you're also a mod at Dizzy's. That if you set the tone from the very beginning, that person steps foot into your chat, and whether you do it the soft way that Dizzy does it, or you lay the law down like I have, you have to do that because you can lose control of your chat.
Yeah, I think you do have to do it. Obviously, I think depending on how you do it is up, again, like you said, up to you. I personally think that doing it more of the soft approach is a little bit better in terms of those people, may come and be like, what, this is actually not smart to do because I can actually gain friends. I can gain people to, talk to and gain a community. Granted, there's going to be people who are doing it just to troll, and that's why they're doing it, and they don't care about any kind of community or anything. You have those 4chan people who do just that. So yeah, I think there's definitely times where you do need to absolutely just ban people, but you do have to have some sort of kind of fist in it and take down certain people.
Okay, well, we're getting long here, so we're gonna roll out with this one. We're gonna roll out the show with this story, and I'm glad because I know G has some money invested in this one. And Chris Roberts was in the news again today with Star Citizen, and I thought he was up around $50 million that he's raised. It's actually closer to $74 million that they have raised for Star Citizen. Now, here's the thing. It's starting to come together.
Yep.
That's his words. It's starting to come together. You got $74 million worth of money, and it's just starting to come together. As he says, building our universe is already the most creative, satisfying thing I have ever done. He doesn't talk about how he's counting his money. But the coming months is going to be something else, Roberts wrote. Without sharing internal target dates, like he's ever done that before, I will tell you that we are entering into the tightest schedule we've ever had for public release. In short order, you will see Area Commander 1.1 known now with REC, the FPS module, and the so-called social module, our first foray into the persistent universe. And, even better, and it might actually work this time. There is going to be a public playable demo of the Star Citizen FPS module at PAX East.
Yep. I'm going to be playing it.
I hope so, G. I really do. I hope it plays unlike the previous PAX where they couldn't get it to run properly.
But here's the thing. I know you're very much a naysayer against them, and I understand.
No, look, G. I want it to succeed. I do. Because if it doesn't, we got more problems we can shake a stick at. Okay, so I do want it to succeed. But nothing that Roberts has done, nothing Roberts has said, has made me feel comfortable about the whole situation.
I would disagree. I would completely disagree. I mean, I think that he's one of the only people when it comes to early access that has been able to show actual gameplay in terms of different things, like the Arena Commander, your FPS module. Those things are actually viable. They're real. And yeah, at first the Arena Commander was very kind of, this is something that actually does kind of bug me, is that you have people kind of like yourself, and I understand where you're coming from, but they go, well, it's just you can walk around your ship, you can't even fly it, and then you're able to fly it. Oh, well, you can just fly it, you can't really do anything else. And then they start adding dogfighting. Oh, well, it's just a dogfighting module, it's not an actual game. And then something else. Oh, well, and it's like, okay, well, when are you going to give them a break? This is a game that's been being developed for a very long time. They put a lot of effort in, and but you're seeing different modules that they're focusing on by different teams that are being completely focused on by those teams instead of one team focusing on all of the modules. And now they're putting them all together because they're working seamlessly on their own. So to me, that's phenomenal. I'm excited about that. So that's I think you're giving them too little credit. I think if you look at what they're doing a great job, and they've updated themselves and shown what they're doing. And I think that's amazing.
Thank you, Outlaw Cat. And yes, dear girl, I want you on this side of the show. Come on now. You got to come and talk to me. Okay, look, gee, I and as far as, Toke Gaming says I talk over everybody, dude, this is my show. Okay?
Yeah,
in
it's
this
called
show,
Cranky and Friends.
Cranky's emperor in this show.
Yeah, if I want to talk over somebody, I'll fucking talk over them. So, chill. Anyway, gee, look, like I said, I truly hope that Star Citizen proves to be the game of the generation. I really do. I really, really do. I'm just really nervous that it's going to fall flat. that something's going to go wrong, and it's going to get as a result, game crowdfunding is going to take a massive hit. People's confidence in early access is going to take a massive hit, and that's what worries me.
And those are all legit concerns. I was concerned, about a year ago. But the thing is that the updates that he's provided have shown to be real and genuine, and you can play them. And on top of that, he's not a Peter. I can keep saying that. Like, that is something that was serious, and that was something that screwed over gamers. And you don't hear that as much. Why? Because it's not $74 million worth. I really think that those are legitimate concerns, but you also need to kind of look at it on both sides. I still am concerned about it because, yes, if it fails, then obviously I agree with you. However, looking at it from what he actually has proven and shown, it's starting to really come together, and I think that's something to really applaud them on.
Okay, well, like I said, I'm more than willing to give the game the benefit of the doubt. Chris Roberts, not so much. But yeah. But on that note, we've got, like, I know we still have stories left, but fuck it, we're done for the night, guys. My throat's starting to.
Yeah.
Ashton, thank you for the follow. Thank you everybody for all your follows tonight. You reaffirmed that what we're doing here is good and that you're enjoying yourselves. If you are new to the channel, you haven't followed before, please consider doing so. It's like a little pat on the back to us here that we're doing something right. A note, also now, as of last Sunday when I had the interview with Dizzy Disaster and his wife Mew, every Sunday at 2 p.m. will be an episode of the interviews, where I sit down and talk with streamers, gamers, and hopefully maybe even game devs. So that's on your timetable too, and that is at 2 o'clock Eastern every Sunday afternoon. But in the meantime, hit the follow. Maybe send us a few bucks, because that always helps too, because, hey, this shit costs money, man. And I gotta give kudos to every single guest host I have on this show, because they do it of their own free time. And it's like 2 o'clock in the morning, folks, and they're here talking about the things we love. So give them a big shout out to Red Mage, to G Eidolon, to Ginger, to Haas, to Gull, everybody that shows up here to sit and talk with me. But for now, 2 words, folks. Just 2. Game on.
Gone crazy! Am I the only one around here who gives a shit about the rules?